Hi everyone, and welcome back to Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. Yes, we have two stories today. The first story is titled, I'm in a really bad situation and I have no idea what to do right now. My husband and I have been together for 8 years and married for 6. We have a son together. We have been in a very happy and fulfilling wedded life until about 6 months ago. I started a relationship with my ex from college that lasted about 4 months. I genuinely had no intentions of betraying my husband and thought of it as just catching up with an old friend who reached out to me. I don't even know why I did it or why I let it go for so long. So yeah, it lasted for about 4 months and we were regularly meeting up at my home, my AP's home, and hotels whenever his place was unavailable. And yes, he is married with 3 kids. During this time, I became increasingly distant from my husband and he began to notice. He is a very smart man and knows whenever something isn't right. Well, one night he asked me flat out if I was cheating on him. I denied it, of course, but he did not back down. He told me while looking into my eyes that he knew something was up, but he was going to let this go because he had no proof. However, he said if he found out down the road that I have lied to him, we would be done. No questions asked. I took his words seriously and immediately ended it with AP. He reluctantly agreed to end it and I devoted myself to being the best wife and mother I possibly could. I felt very guilty how I neglected my husband and started initiating more, doing things I normally wouldn't do, helping more around the house and with our kid. My husband was very cold to me in the beginning, but things went back to normal after a while. One day, my AP contacted me via social media. I told him no and that we were done, but he said he wanted us to meet one last time. I foolishly agreed to this and we decided to meet up at a hotel 2 hours away from where I live. I wanted to experience this one last time before I calling it quits for good. As you can guess already, this did not go according to plan. After AP and I were done with the deed, I received a text from my husband. It said, I know where you are, who you are with, and what you are doing. We are done. Don't bother coming back home. I have transferred half of our savings into your checking account. Have a good life. I can't describe the waves of emotions I felt at that moment. I tried calling him and texting him, but he had blocked me on everything. He eventually unblocked my phone number but said it was only to deal with our son. Everything else was going to be through his lawyer. I've never been more depressed in my life than I was when this happened. I decided to go home the next day, but he wasn't there. Neither was our son. Whenever I texted him, he would only respond if I asked about my son. He sent me a text saying we would each have our son for a week and nothing else. I couldn't talk to his side of the family because they all had me blocked and my family was very disappointed in me. My best friend is the only person I could talk to. I had no contact with my husband for a whole week. And when I did, it was to inform me that his brother would be bringing our son over for my week of custody. This was the most painful period of my life. How could he be so cruel and indifferent? Aren't we supposed to talk about things like this? I know I probably deserved it, but he never gave me a chance to apologize or explain. The guilt I have and the way he is treating me is driving me insane. I feel like he never even loved me if he can be this emotionless. I'm not asking him to take me back. Just talk, yell at me, anything. Doesn't he want some sort of closure at least? This brings me to today. I got served divorce papers and I can't believe he would go so far without even talking to me. Yes, I shouldn't have cheated, but I feel like his reaction is very childish. I haven't even read the papers or hired a lawyer. Things just can't end this way. I sent him a text saying that I will be contesting this divorce even if it leaves us in financial crisis. So, my question to all you strangers is, what should I do? I'm really lost right now and I can't even function. I can't believe my whole life is about to end and I'm not even being given a chance to fix it. Should I contact the police? Since I don't know where he is, he has also changed the door locks to our house. Well friends, since there isn't an update for a long time now, we really don't know what happened after. Maybe they went through with the divorce, or not. So, let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Second story is titled, My wife left the family for her AP a year ago, but now she says she wants to fix things. My wife and I have been married for just over 9 years. We have an 8-year-old son together. She was a full-time stay-at-home mom after our son was born. However, in April 2019, she went back to workforce working as a part-time assistant for a manager at a medical software sales company. She was upset that she wasn't pulling in a lot in terms of salary. But I was happy for her because I hoped that a job would be motivating for her. She had already complained that she wished I could be more spontaneous and interesting. But despite the attempts at counseling, she could never explain what interesting meant. However, 3 months into her job, I found her to be a happier person, less critical of everything I do, and a more patient mother to our son. Our intimacy had basically lost for about 5 years, and she has shown some interest in recharging that. What I did not know was that she had begun a relationship with a 53-year-old surgeon that she met at a medical conference. Her job involves traveling to medical conferences and visit clinics and hospitals. The surgeon lived in a nearby city and she would use work as an excuse to go and see him. This went on behind my back, as she would later tell me, from July 2019 to around April 2020, when she admitted that her work was much more remote during COVID than she would convince me it was, and she had been driving to see her AP. She told me the AP was interesting and he was everything that I wasn't, meaning he made a lot of money, had lucrative businesses with his family, lectured around the country, and loved to travel and enjoy life. She said she regretted becoming a mom because it has made her stay with me for a greater part of a decade and she needed time to think. She told me not to follow her and already loaded up her car and left to stay in a room that she was subletting from a friend. And I was left to deal with the fallout and my son's troubling levels of anxiety and his increased inability to get along with the other kids in school. He cried himself to sleep thinking he is unlovable, and my wife refused to return my calls. The only thing she did do was sending me a letter establishing the date of the separation and her intention to file for divorce a year later. People are telling me not to wait and file for divorce as soon as possible. Also, to tell the courts that my wife abandoned the family. 5 months ago, she tried to get me to sign a separation agreement with bogus terms, which I refused and decided to go and see a lawyer. Then, 2 months ago, she started talking to me about how she wants to be more civil with me from now on. Then, last week, she asked me if we could meet. She starts crying and saying her AP was insulting and he told her that he was divorcing his wife of 3 years, who he was separated from. Turns out, his wife was in another city finishing up her final year of graduate school. But when she found out about the relationship, she went crazy and the AP stood by her and did nothing. His wife called my wife's employer, which caused her to leave her job. He merely admitted that he adores his wife and wanted to let her follow her dreams, but had a hard time dealing with the long distance and pretty much admitted that his wife said that it was okay him having one-night stands, but he regrets hurting her now and letting it drag on. The AP also said nothing when his wife texted my wife saying that he was not leaving her and that they would file restraining orders if she ever contacted them again. My wife said that she had a moment of insanity and that she was willing to get therapy. She said she was a victim of his lies. She said she was struggling and asked if she could move back in and to be a family again. What do I do? How do I deal with someone who caused so much of pain? If we are cohabitating, I can't guarantee that I won't develop feelings for her again. Most importantly, I don't know how to deal with this in a way to inflict the least stress on my son. I had been prepared to respond to a divorce petition, but my wife said she'll lose it if I filed right now, and she just wanted to find the love we once had. End of the story. It's time we listen to a few comments by the amazing community. Buzz S.I. Decker says, Never be someone's second choice. Get a good lawyer and follow his advice. Keep minimal contact, civil and only related to the child. Get your son some therapy as soon as possible. Your lawyer should make sure that she pays half of it. And other places says, yeah, she's coming back because AP and his wife booted her. She wouldn't have come back otherwise. If you let her, she'll leave again when she find another someone interesting again. You deserve better, and above all, your son deserves better. Letting her come back for your son is a mistake. It won't make him happier. She did abandon him. So, file for divorce and custody as soon as possible. Potato 1819 says, this exactly. OP, your wife did not have a moment of insanity or a victim of lies. She is acting like the victim now because her selfish plans did not work out, and now she has no place or money to fall back on. The only victims here are you and your son. She didn't care about her son's well-being. She only cared about herself and no one else. She belongs to the streets. If she wants to do therapy, she can do that on her own. Period. Thanks for listening. Please like, comment and share the story if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.